Alright, welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Been a long, hot day already. It's this afternoon. This should be the last job. I haven't got anything else. Well, somebody called me for emissions, but I don't do emissions. So we're gonna go, it's for an Astro van, 2001 I believe, 2002 maybe, Astro van. And we're gonna put a sway bar on it. The sway bar actually just snapped up near the end link that goes to the control arm. So I've got new end links, new bushings, and that control arm. Sorry, that sway bar. So we're gonna go replace that. Shouldn't be too hard to do on these Astro vans. Just bolted right up underneath the front of the, I don't know if they have a subframe, just the front of the vehicle, between the axles. So here we go. We'll see if it doesn't take too long. Hopefully it doesn't. It shouldn't. Sweating like crazy. Of course, this is way more complicated than it's supposed to be. I was just going to replace the sway bar, which is broken. You can see the end of it there. I'll show you a little bit better later. But when I jacked this tire up, I just started disassembling it. So I actually took the, it's not an axle, not just the nut off the spindle there and this thing. But before I even did that, it was spinning like crazy. Some pieces of bearing, old bearing already came out. I think I put them in another rag. Anyways, we're about to pull this all the way apart. Oh, here they are. Here's like the old pieces of those old bearings that were in there. But this thing was just ridiculously broken and loose. So one of those broke first and broke the other. I couldn't tell you which one was which. I could tell you which one was more likely, but it's just speculation. So luckily, probably like mid-case scenario. It could have been best case scenario. It could be just the bearing, and it may be. But I think I'm going to replace the whole rotor for them because it's built into the rotor here, kind of like on my Ranger. So yeah, I'm going to take this caliper off right now. We'll take the rotor off and look at it and see exactly what's going on here. See what we can do for them. I almost drowned on some water when I got here. I took a big old swig of water and it went right down my throat. All right, there's this. Oh yeah, there's the broken bearing stuff in there. So we got a tapered roller bearing there, completely destroyed. We'll clean all this up and look for any sort of marring. But actually, if it looks like it's all right, we may, we'll see. Wow, that washer got nice and coned out. All right, well, I'm gonna clean all this up. This is grease. Still coughing from that water. It's been 20 minutes. Okay, here's the carnage. Pretty bad. I can probably just pull that off. There's that seal from the back of that. We'll make sure we get a new seal as well, because no point in reusing any of this stuff. Make sure that bearing comes off. Don't tell me it's pressed on there. That may be part of the issue if it got reused or something and it shouldn't have. Last time it was replaced, because it was done like a year ago by a different shop. So anyways, so I'm gonna clean this up and we'll see. Maybe we don't have to replace that rotor. Maybe it's just a bad bearing and didn't do anything else. But if it's marked up or anything at all, I'm gonna get a new rotor for them just to be safe. Okay, lots of paper towels here. Man, it's hot. This side's right in the sun. I almost put up my umbrella, but I don't even know how long I'm gonna be here now. Just like best case scenario is that no damages to the spindle at least. And anything after that's just better and better. But as long as this spindle didn't get damaged. It's got a little bit of wear on it, but that might just be normal wear anyways. I don't see any sort of gouging. That looks like it might have ridden on a rotor for a while or anything like that. Put that there and clean up that rust. See if we can get that off. And just get a couple new bearings for this. Should be that tapered roller in the back, and then one more in the front there, and that's the one that's completely gone. Not by completely and not completely, but basically completely gone. Oh, that's falling out. There's grease all over the driveway. A rag down there. Yeah, and you can just see all the pieces of bearing in there loose. Depends on what we have to do to replace the rotor on this Astro van here. I don't really know if I want to go pulling on this ABS ring and everything. If I can just I don't know if it comes with a new rotor or not, if we can reuse this rotor. Like I said, best case scenario, so we're gonna check. It's got that it's got that race in there for that back bearing. And that one doesn't look like it was causing an issue. It looks like it was the front one, but I would definitely want to replace the roller bearing side of that. The race may be fine. Again, I'm gonna look for any sort of marring. I'm repeating myself, but just thinking my way through this process. I'll check back in when I get this cleaned up and show you what I find. Okay, next observation is it looked like this race may have gotten pushed in further than it was supposed to. It looks like it's a little bit uneven, and typically they sit right on this last edge there. I could be wrong about that one, just could be particular to this certain vehicle. But you can also replace the race, especially since we're getting a new bearing. It's going to come with a race, so I can gently tap that race out and put the new one on for the new bearing. So that's not a deal breaker for reusing this rotor. I've just got that area cleaned up, and for sure I'm gonna do that for sure. Now it's just a question of, am I only gonna do that, or am I gonna replace this rotor? So, well, I'll let you know in a second there. I just got this back side cleaned up. Now we'll do the front. Okay, question is this bearing somehow pressed on? It's moving quite a bit for one that shouldn't be pressed on, but maybe it is. I'm about to pop it off anyways. All these little rollers are gonna go everywhere, but I'm not reusing it, so I don't care about them falling out. Okay, well, I thought it was about to come off. I just got it pretty much popped all the way out of there. Looks like it's gonna need a few more taps. It is basically pressed on there, but you can press them on there when you put the rotor back on, so it's not like I need a special press as long as I can get it out, and I can. So there's that. Replacement for sure, but back here is not gonna be marred up because that was obviously pressed on there and just fine still. And this is gonna need a good cleaning. It's gonna need 2 new bearings and maybe a new rotor, but I still have not got that all the way cleaned up and double checked. Okay, here's this. Let's get some more paper towels. Yes, hot, 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 hot. Man, I think both of these have a race actually, so yeah, there's a bit of wearing, but it is on that race on the front there. And I say wearing, I mean there's like quite a bit of marring slash wear. It's on this race, so I think we're good to, I mean, those races aren't going to move, they're pressed in, so I think I'll pop those out and just get new 2 bearings, and we'll call that good for right now. It's a diagnosis well done, and we'll finish the job tomorrow, I'm sure, depending, I mean, if those bearings are in stock right now, we'll go for it, but I'm going to go ahead and just pop these races out so we're ready to go in the morning at least, and do one last check once those races are out. GoPro stopper. Okay, that rear race is about out. Just tapping it with a little cold punch here. And then we'll do the same for the front. And like I said, I think we're just in need of 2 new bearings here since all that wear happened on the bearing surfaces there. Well, that's pretty marred up. Question is, does it ride on that surface enough to matter? Yeah, it's wallered out a little bit, quite a bit. Man, yeah, maybe we need a new rotor anyways. Let me think about it. You can see that, you can tell how wallered out that is. Man, I'm dripping sweat. I don't even sweat typically. It's like literally dripping off the face. Oh, the sun's hot. All right. Yeah, pretty wallered out. So, question is, does it ride on that bearing surface? I mean, on that inner surface there, or just the races? I'm not sure, even if it did just ride on the races. At what point do you say, hey, that's a little dangerous regardless? Not sure. Not sure about the ethics of it, so I may just look at the price, give them the options, let them decide, but I'll probably suggest replacing this whole rotor. And it can't be too expensive. My famous last words. Yeah, surprisingly they have everything in stock, so I really don't have a good excuse to not do it this afternoon. I'm just gonna procrastinate, so I have to do it in the morning anyway, so I'm just gonna go grab those and we'll just swing back over here. AutoZone's like 5-6 minutes away. Just come right back and get this done. Oh, I'm tired. It's so hot. All right, here we are back at it, packing bearings. Haven't packed bearings since that video that got way too many views, and more than anything else. That was surprising. Okay, here's what's interesting on these rotors. Sometimes this one I checked came with the ABS ring. That's good. But on these rotors, sometimes they come with the races already in them, which is fine with me, but I'm like, I don't understand why, because in theory you should always be replacing your wheel bearings when you get a new rotor, so can't think of a situation where you wouldn't, but whatever. Like I said, I don't have to worry about them going in right, so, or seating all the way down, so it's fine with me. And somehow we had everything in stock, so so we didn't really have another choice. We just had to go ahead and race. We got both races in there. Yeah, and this one's not walled out, anything like that other one, so it's gonna be a lot better to put that one in. Let's get some brake clean and clean this rotor before I slap it in there, so I don't forget. Pack these bearings and put them in there, finish cleaning that up all the way. Well, I've got that seal as well. I can't forget the seal. I did that in my truck last time, but sitting on the cleaners. They're in this bucket when I've got my umbrella set up, because man, it was way too hot. I think I said that enough. You probably got the point. Oh, we got some liquid down there on the bottom. Wonder what that's from. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. It's probably not flammable because it hasn't evaporated yet. Brake clean, gonna spray the brake clean. Okay, that's not very strong, is it? Gonna have to sit on the corner. Okay, ABS ring's cool. Let's clean up that inside of there. Get out any of that grease in there, but it's fine because it's gotta have grease in there anyways. Let's see, seal goes on. It's gonna go on after the rear brake. Come on, bucket, don't fall on me. It's gotta go on after that. Which direction, you ask? I'm not exactly sure. It's gonna be like that. All right. Bing, bang, boom. Yeah, it's gonna be like that in that direction. I gotta get that bearing in there first. Probably, maybe it'll fit after that. I'm not taking my chances. Get ahead of yourself and you start making mistakes that are a lot harder to undo than they were to just take the extra 30 seconds in the first place. Oh, what do we got here? Red grease. I don't know why everybody thought red grease wasn't for wheel bearings in the last video. You got to use high temp grease on. It's for disc brake wheel bearings. There's a difference. You can use them whatever. You can use gray grease on wheel bearings, but literally it says on the gray grease packet for use for wheel bearings, open parentheses, except disc brakes, close parentheses, where this one says recommended for heavy automotive service wheel bearings. Nothing else. There's no disclaimer. Not well. You got to use the high temp stuff. That's what red is. So people were saying that about the short. Probably not people who are even going to watch this video, because just everybody on the internet seems to have found that somehow. Yeah, you are supposed to use red grease on disc brake wheel bearings, rotors. They get a lot hotter. Everybody on the internet just seemed to have found it, so like whatever. Okay, we don't need that race. Yeah, pack it how you want, man. That's what I'm saying. People, maybe this video will go famous. We'll just have to film this one too. Nice and slimy. All right, here's the trick. Getting these off without getting your hands absolutely covered in grease. Gotta get it a little bit on there, I guess. Got a little bit on my wrist. Get rid of those gloves. No sense in trying to reuse those. Okay, here's the seal. Little rubber mallet will do nice to get this on there. Nice and even. All right, so basically rubber mallet's fine. Just tap, 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 tap around the edges. That one side went in already. One tap. You could put something flat on there to make sure it all goes in evenly. Or you could just tap it around evenly. That's perfect. Nice and even. Now we can throw this on there after we clean that spindle. Again, I keep forgetting. And then we'll do the front bearing. Is that a ball bearing? Because I'm pretty sure there were balls in that other one. This is a roller bearing as well, but it felt like those were balls on that other end. That other one that was completely demolished, and they're all covered in grease in those rags, but don't care enough to dig them out and find out. All I know is I got the right parts for this one, so that's all I'm worried about. Luckily those spindles are made out of some really hard metal. Probably a bit more brittle because of it, but The inside of that rotor got chewed up a bit. Again, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter because you want all your, everything's riding on those bearings anyways, but yeah. We're not gonna take chances and reuse that rotor. It's messed up. So this one's got a little bit of scratching on it, just a little bit, nothing deep. Can't even really feel it, so totally fine reusing this spindle. I mean, at this point, it's like, you know, reuse the spindle or don't, and you're gonna pay $600 or something to replace that spindle and the steering knuckle or whatever it's gonna be, or you just take your chances, do this, and it's not even a risk. You're not gonna have to spend so much money. Totally fine. In my opinion, there's no risk in this coming pot. Okay, well, that's probably about on there all the way. We've got to do this front bearing now. We've got some people over here checking me out. What are they driving around there for? All right. Yeah, I mean, you can pack these with the races on. That's what I did in the last one. I'm surprised how many people had an opinion on that. I don't know, I keep talking about it. Doesn't bother me. People say whatever they want about me. I just like to talk too much, I guess. Maybe that's why I started a YouTube channel. Who knows why I started this thing? You should spin it. You don't say. You're not doing that right. What do you mean? How can you possibly do this better? Slap the grease onto the bearing. If it gets in there, it gets in there. There's no better way to get it in there than another. If it's in there, it's in there. That's it. I don't even say that because I'm like upset. I'm just like, what do you mean? Genuinely confused. I think we about got it all in there in one try. Yeah, see them. Yeah, see them. Coming all the way up. Stay over here, umbrella, please. I need the shade. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Get a lot of grease on there. Boom, boom, boom. Just push it in there and don't let it fall out while I take these gloves off and put some new ones on. There we go. Go through some gloves, but that's money well spent when you're greasing bearings. I don't know. Like I said, I do this not that often, so whatever. Ooh, where's the lid of that grease, though? All right. And your hands get all sweaty and put new gloves on way hard. Go in there. See that rust that was behind that old rotor, though? It's probably just rust from sitting around for a while. I think it's been sitting for a while, they had said. But new rotor anyways, doesn't matter. All that old manufacturing slop off there. Okay, don't let that bearing fall out. Let's go ahead and clean this nut up and get that on there. I want this washer as well. Let's set this on the ground just in case it decides to jump out on us. Jump scare. That would be a scare. All right. Yeah, paper towels as well is a good investment for a job like this. Just put it in the budget. 50 paper towels, 50 gloves. Yeah. Now, question is, do we put this one on backwards like the other one? Or do we put it on normal? Yeah, this even got ridden down onto that rotor as well. This could probably be replaced, but it's easy enough to replace without having to worry about all this that I'm not gonna worry about not putting this back together now. Hello. So, yeah, it was too hot. I had to put up my umbrella. I'm like, no way. Okay, well, we just got this back on. Got that bearing tightened back, or that wheel tightened back down, but because that rear one's actually quote unquote pressed on there, you can do it with the nut here, but I had to actually jiggle it real tough. Ding, 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 back and forth to get it to start going on there so I could actually put the washer and the nut on there and start twisting it. But it's all seated up now. That seal's on there, everything's seated up good. And just tight enough there. We'll put a cotter pin in there, well, I'm not gonna put the tire back on right now because you can see here, is what I initially got called out for. So we'll be doing that in just a minute, but pretty straightforward access to this sway bar, so it shouldn't take too much longer after this. Get the last little fingerprints of grease cleaned up here. All this rust that came out of the rotor, luckily it doesn't stain too bad, but I'll try and get that cleaned up for them on their driveway. There's a look at that new thing. Oh, we gotta get that cap put back on there, and we'll be done for sure with this. That was a surprise. It was a surprise, not gonna lie. As soon as I jacked it up, I wish I got a video of it. That thing, I mean, you could tell probably from what came out of there, was just wobbling like crazy. So a little crazy, but not too crazy. Get all the old grease out of here. We don't need to put anything in there. We've got those greased up nice and well. Yeah, I mean, if it was my own vehicle, I'm sure I would have reused that rotor and just, I know what things sound like when they start to fail. I'll take care of it myself, but I'm not going to do that to some customer's car. I think it was probably just the best course of action. Yes, that umbrella's so nice. Good investment, even if I just got to use it for today. It's a hot one. Well, it's been hotter, but man, I don't know, just sitting in the sun on this white concrete. Anyways, I don't know why I talk so much. Just watch and enjoy. Yay, dust cap's 99% clean. It's good enough. Tap that back on there with our mallet. And time for the sway bar. And if you realized I forgot the cotter pin, so did I. But 15 seconds too late. Takes your time. It's worth it taking your time before you do things, but I was like, oh, it's clean. That's all I was wanting to do, and then got a little ahead of myself there. Cotter pin time. Make this day worse, like 1,000 times worse, dropping this. That would be terrible. Set that out easy. Now that I say it, it's gonna happen. I was like, oh no, where's the hole? I thought that's longer. That's not as long as I thought it was. We're not gonna need that long one. Even that one's a little long. That's all right. Grab just one of those. Boom. Boom. Good enough. By good enough, can't really be better. And now officially done with that, and onto the sway bar. Once I clean this mess up. Yeah, and thanks to the channel members for supporting the channel, because this was already a decent sized quote, because that sway bar is expensive, and I felt bad charging this lady a bunch for the labor and stuff on this rotor, so I donated my labor. She just paid for the parts. So channel members help support stuff like that. When they donate to the channel, I like to give back to people in need, and this was one of those cases. So thanks, channel members. If you like that or want to help support something like that, consider becoming a channel member, or maybe I'll put my Venmo or something in the comments down below or in the description. And if you just want to drop a couple bucks in there for helping people out occasionally without having to worry about a subscription or something, yeah, feel free to do that. It would be greatly appreciated, because I end up doing this way more than I actually talk about. Also, that bearing that exploded was a roller bearing. Here's one of the rollers for evidence. They were rollers, but like I said, as long as we got the right part back in, I don't really care what came out. Well, I mean, depends on who put it in there. Maybe they could go get it warranted or something if it was really the wrong part, but I think they said that shop has gone out of business or something. They got it fixed, because I did ask. Okay, let's do this for real. Sway bar time. Hopefully this doesn't give us any troubles, because I'm 200% done with today. I'm worn out. All right, so nothing weird on that other side of the sway bar. I didn't bring my grinder or my Sawzall just in case. Sometimes with sway bar and links and stuff, they get so rusty and hard to take off. It's a lot easier to just Sawzall them off. But no problems on that side. I sprayed them both with PB Blaster, because I thought I didn't have them with me. Might as well be safe, but I was able to even get them out with my electric little drill there, so, or a wrench ratchet. So that, and 2 bolts on each side for the bushings, which we have new bushings and end links, 2 of each, because I ordered extras, not knowing that the sway bar I bought already had them with them. The GoPro overheated. That's how hot it is. It's been in the shade on top of that. And I'm still sweating, but not as bad as earlier, man. That umbrella's a lifesaver. Game changer. Let's see if I can just pop that loose. It's already spinning enough. It's gonna pop loose regardless. Weird design for an N-Link though, I'll say that much. Very strange design. It's got a bolt that runs all the way through it. You know, yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Astro van. All right, let's see if I can get this off quick. That's a good design though for not getting stuck. A straight bolt. It's probably your best chance of getting one out. So. Lots of twists, and that's out. Oh, this side was broken too. I didn't know this side was broken too. I think. No, yeah, it's broken. It's the top side of that. Interesting. A little canoe paddle. Get that out, and still has its original sticker on it, but that doesn't mean it's quality because this one broke on both sides. Here's this other side I'll show you. Beast Day. It's broken. Alright, let's see if I can flip that over that way. Landed it on my toes. Success. Alright, none of this stuff should need to be reused. If it does, I'll dig it back out and find it, but it shouldn't. Just get that out of the way. Oh yeah, let's take this plastic off this sway bar. Since I'm laying on the ground, I forgot to do that beforehand. All right, well, I'll slide this up here and show you when I'm putting it back together. Whew. This bar's a lot heavier. It must be better made. I stood up in the sun for like 2 minutes to take the plastic off this thing and started pouring sweat again. You're probably tired of hearing about how hot it is, but I just can't get over it. It's my trial of the day, I guess. Come on. Now we just gotta get you up in there. Nice and easy. Man, this one's a lot heavier, which is good. That tells you it's strong. Probably. It tells you it's probably strong, I'll tell you that much. It's like doing a bench press. It's like it comes out because it's broken, but it won't go back in one piece. Without removing the subframe or something. That would be weird. And I would probably cry. See if we get these bushings on without. I don't know if it's designed to do so, but just slide them on from the end with this lubricant if you need to. What was it? A spot side up. Obviously. Obviously. Where's that other one? So done with today. I'm so tired. Let's see. Just opposite these of each other. Not that it matters, but you know, a little bit of redundancy. Never hurt anybody. Let's see if that's gonna go up on that flat section. Yes, it is. So we're gonna adjust this. Adjust this. Let's get the N-Link started as well. So let's go over here and look. You're gonna miss the show. Alright, here's the weird design about these though. You kind of like piece them back together as you go. It's not a big deal. Just look at it and remember how it looked. Take a picture if you can't do that. I say that and I'm not gonna be able to do it, but just set them down in order like that. Oh, yeah, gotta put that bushing on next, which goes squishy side and tabby side, and like that. Oh, sweat in my eye. Before that goes through this, and it's gotta get its washer. So just piecing together a little puzzle under here with limited space, sitting on your side, getting a crick in your neck. So, if you thought about becoming a mechanic, consider that. Sweat in your eyes. Alright. Let's see, where are we trying to connect this to? What's the end goal here? Where's this going to? Hey, where's this going to? Why can't I see it? Oh. Oh. Ooh, one of those days. This is where it's going to. It's going to the sway bar itself. Ernest. To the sway bar. Ernest. To the sway bar. Like so. And now it goes on. Okay, that's much better. That looks right. See, I have an excuse because that other side was broken. I couldn't remember what it looked like. This is what didn't look right at all. Just kidding. Let's do the other side, that way we know it's centered, and then we'll slap these bushings on. And then we will probably weight the vehicle before I tighten the bushings all the way down. Although on a sway bar, it's not as big of a deal than like a control arm bushing or whatever. Because these should, in theory, slide a little bit. Nice. I'll do the other side. No sense in watching that, I don't think. Check back when I'm done. If you can see that, it's about time to put this bushing all the way up. So put it up with one hand here. Center it enough. There, kind of give it a little back and forth. Where does the middle feel like? Right about there. Sure. That sounds right to me. This thing's way heavier than that other one, I'll tell you that. I think I did before. Whew. New bolts. That's always nice when a kit comes with new stuff. Oh, is this an oversized bolt? I mean, it's set to cut. It's cut out. Cut its own threads, but I don't know if I want to do that on the subframe of the vehicle. These threads were just fine. Totally. Nah, it looks like it's the right size. Let's see if I can get it started. Give it enough wiggle. Man, this thing's heavy. Come on. Oh, on my face. Alright, reset. Heavy duty. Heavy duty. Burning my shoulder. Probably because I'm so tired from the day. Alright. You don't care. You don't care how my shoulder feels. You shouldn't either. Okay, that's great. That is absolutely great. That's not sarcastic enough to be sarcasm. Absolutely great that got started by itself. It's not cross-threading anything, especially, but the way I was having to do it. Definitely ran that risk more than normal. But I could see it was straight enough to try. Oh, watch your eyes. Oh, got a cramp. It's this heat. It's this heat. I need some Gatorade, some Powerade, something, some juice. Okay, here we go. We'll weight the vehicle before we tighten these down. Probably. Insert asterisk all the way. Get them started most of the way all the way down. Of course, not gonna tighten them. But the reason I don't so often do stuff like that is because there's a good chance I forget when I move on to something else. If there's something weird going on with it, I will get distracted. So sometimes if I'm doing it, I'm like, I'll just finish it so I don't remember at 10 o'clock tonight in the bed, like, oh no, I forgot. Got that bolt underneath, whatever it is. Then I have to call my customer and say, I'm not a good mechanic. You know, shouldn't trust me. All right, let's tighten everything up, put the wheel back on, and be done. I'm I'm done. I'm done. Just finished this up to be done. All right. Bingo. Put that tire on and finish tightening it, but this way it was. Just that other tire I had to take off. Probably didn't have to take off either, but when I, like I said, when that other one came up, I knew instantly what was wrong, and then I gave it a little wiggle and knew a little bit better. Got like 2 things left to clean up, and I don't want to forget to finish tightening these up now that the weight's on the vehicle. Tires are bald on the inside. Probably needs an alignment. Looks like there's a power steering leak and new tires, but at least it's drivable for today. Tighten all the way up. There you go. You too. That's nice and tight. Get something on the side, and we'll be done here in 30 seconds. That's a job well done. I'm tired. At one point, I rolled out from under the truck, and the shade was like still right there. And then just like laying on the ground for a few seconds, not too long, maybe a minute or two. I was just like, oh, this is the first time I've ever think I've just like not been able to convince myself to stand up as soon as I rolled out from under the car. Like, long day. I'm tired. Oh, you know what though? There's something I forgot to tell you. I'm hot and it's tired. I didn't mean to do that. I'm tired and it's hot. Just kidding. I was gonna say, well, I was gonna say that as a joke, because it came out even funnier. Thanks for watching. I'm Ernest. This is a job well done. This is the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Again, consider becoming a channel member, or maybe just throwing a couple bucks my way in the Venmo down below. And like I said, I use that kind of stuff to help people who are less fortunate, and, you know, fixing up that wheel bearing on that side and the rotor, for example. And another day, maybe they can't afford the whole job and it's got a, you know, needs an intake manifold gasket or something like that. It happens quite often, and like I said, a lot more than I mentioned. But thanks for watching. A subscribe is good enough. A thumbs up's even better. Leave a comment down below to show me your support. That really keeps me going. I don't even know why I make these videos, but I hope you like them. I'll see you on the next episode. 97, that feels more like it. Earlier I was doing a video earlier today, and those, they get sort of a couple hours off, or quite a few degrees off, it seems, when it starts to warm up in the day. It said it was 88 degrees, and I was like, if you say so. I mean, anything over 85 is like, that's hot, but it's 97 now, so I definitely believe that. I'd believe it if it was even hotter. Whoa. There's no way, man. I probably, like, I could force myself to do another job today, but it would not be healthy. See you next time.